In a world in which millions of people staggered through the emotional onslaught of the holiday season, a collective cry goes out for someone, anyone, who can bring a little joy back into their lives. One man dares to answer the call.
Hey, that's me. That's me he's describing, not that's an actual picture of me that you just saw. Well, the picture is, some of it, most of it. Okay, pretty much all of that picture except for my face was computer generated. Anyway, I'm the guy who was being described as standing up with an episode this week for no other purpose than to challenge and test your knowledge, and for fun. Yeah, much more than it being a challenge of knowledge, it's just purely for fun. So join me as we ask the question, can you tell the difference between the words of Shakespeare and the words from the Bible? Welcome to the Sky Pilot podcast that explores questions of faith, spirituality, and religion. I'm Dan Matthews, and I don't have all the answers, but I do enjoy the questions. Welcome to the podcast where every question is an invitation into a spiritual quest, and you're invited along for the journey. I'm Dan, this is Quark, and we're your co-pilots for today's spiritual adventure, so let's blast off. Okay, before we get started, I should say to you that I've missed a couple of weeks. Just took some time off over the holidays in order to kind of rest and relax, and I'm back now. I'm going to be back on schedule, so I hope you'll join me for future episodes. Now, since we started talking about the holidays being a time of stress, let me tell you about a game that I've discovered that I find actually really relaxing. No, it isn't a promo or an ad. I'm not connected with this company in any way. It's just a game with which I'm obsessed, as you are going to see in just a moment. It's on my iPad, and the name of the game is Cryptogram. Now, Cryptogram is the name of this specific game, but it's also a general term used to describe a type of puzzle in which you're presented with a short bit of text, usually a couple of sentences that has been encrypted, and hopefully there are enough context clues that the puzzle can be solved, can be deciphered without any outside help, without a computer help along the way. The game I enjoy playing normally spots you a couple of letters to get you started. So every letter is replaced by a corresponding number, and all like numbers represent the same letter. And that is a very confusing way of describing it. So anyway, if the number 8 is given to you as representing an E, then each and every time you encounter an 8, it will always be an E. That's a much better way of saying it. I really enjoy this game for a couple of reasons. First, it's not timed, which means I'm not adding stress to my life by playing it. And yeah, I generally am not a fan of timed games because when I have finished playing one, I'm often more anxious, more keyed up than I was when I started. And I play games to relax and unwind, not get keyed up and anxious. Second is that it is not a game that gets successively harder the more levels you play, as many games for digital devices do. So again, it doesn't add to the stress in my life by ultimately assuring failure eventually, like a game that is harder over time. And finally, most of the things that are being deciphered are facts about places around the world or quotes. Sometimes the quotes are from books, sometimes they're from famous people, sometimes they're from famous people who wrote books. Anyway, the surprise enjoyment for me in doing this puzzle comes from getting to decipher and then consequently often discovering some great quotes I'd never heard or read before. Matter of fact, there are probably half a dozen or so of these quotes that I have screenshotted,
Okay, let me stop you right there. I suggest you stop before you get yourself into some serious verbal trouble.
Okay, that's probably good advice. Anyway, I've taken a screenshot and saved some of these quotes to use for future episodes, so stay tuned. Recently, I came across a quote that was familiar, and you will certainly recognize it because you've probably heard it in some form many times yourself. And here it is. The quote is, "God loves to help him who strives to help himself." Now, the version I've heard said most often is, "God helps those who help themselves." And not always, but fairly frequently, I have heard someone preface it by saying this.
Well, like it says in the Bible, God helps those who help themselves.
But it doesn't say that in the Bible. does it?
No. No, it does not appear in the Bible. You're exactly right. And it creates an interesting image for me, an interesting question of exactly what really is intended by the meaning. What are they trying to evoke? What kind of image are they trying to create for who God is and how God interacts with us? Matter of fact, this is a well-known quote that has been around for a long time, and I mean a really long time. It can be traced back to ancient Greece. It was popular in that culture a full 600 years before the birth of Jesus. And it's not original to, but is often attributed to a Greek playwright named Aeschylus, who is almost always described as Aeschylus the tragedian, which is a rather unfortunate title, if you ask me.
So, in Greece, wouldn't it have probably been said as the gods, plural? As in the gods help those who help themselves?
Yeah, nice catch. It was exactly said that way. So this quote got me thinking about how well we recognize quotes from the Bible and discerning them from other texts, which leads to today's game. We aren't taking quotes from all over the place, as you already know. As the title of this episode suggests, all these quotes that you will be given today are either from the Bible or Shakespeare. And all you have to do is to determine which is which. Now, before we get started, let me say there is no trick in this. This is exactly what it appears to be on the surface. And there's no evaluation at the end of this either. So I'm not going to say that getting 10 out of 10 means you are a true Christian or a Shakespearean scholar, and nor does getting only 2 mean that you're an ignoramus.
Ignoramus?
Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever said that word since I haven't said it since I was in 3rd grade, but wow, was it a popular word when I was in the 3rd grade? There will be the same number of each. So if you make all your answers Shakespeare or all your answers the Bible, you might want to change some.
Or not, and rest assured that you will get at least 50% correct.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point as well. But at the end of this, we'll have some amazing prizes awaiting you. Tell them about it, Quark.
That's right. If you or anyone you know gets some portion all or none of the following questions correct, you are eligible for an absolutely free subscription to this channel. In addition, you will also win the right to click on the like button absolutely free of charge. And wait, that's not all. There's more. You can click on the bell icon and receive free notifications for the rest of your life. Offer not available in North Korea, Iran, or Cuba.
That was really well done, but I should say it always freaks me out just a little bit when you change your voice.
Shall we play a game? Oh.
Okay, let's get started, shall we? I should also say the Bible quotes are from the King James Version of the Bible, so that the form of English is as similar as possible to both types of quotes. Here we go. Number 1. Let's go hand in hand, not one before another. Okay, number 1 is let's go hand in hand, not one before another. Number 2. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. That's number 2. Number 2 is, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Number 3, the quality of mercy is not strained. Again, number 3 is, the quality of mercy is not strained. Number 4, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. That's number 4. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Number 5. It must follow, as the day the night. Thou canst not be false to any man. Number 5, again, it must follow, as the day the night. Thou canst not be false to any man. Number 6. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. That's number 6. Number 6 is love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Number 7. Put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. That's number 7. Put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Number 8. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Okay. 8 again is vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Number 9, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. Number 9, again, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. Last one, number 10, condemn the fault and not the actor of it. Number 10, condemn the fault and not the actor of it. Okay, it's time to think about the quotes. Make your decisions and lock in your answers. Quark, can you please give us some thinking music? Okay, that's enough. I actually didn't think you'd come through with anything on that. Well done. Now, are you ready to see how well you did? I will read each quote again. Pause for a second or two so you will have time to give your answer, but not long. So if you want more time to think about these, go back again, pause, and give yourself the time you need to work on these. Also, remember, this is not important. This is just purely meant to be fun. Okay, number 1. Let's go hand in hand, not one before another. So this one is Shakespeare. This sounds to me like it could be the Bible, exhorting people to make their way through life in community and helping one another. But this one, number 1, is Shakespeare. Number 2, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So number 2, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. This one very much sounds to me like it could be Shakespeare, so I chose it for that reason, but it is the Bible. Matthew 12:34. Maybe it's just the word speaketh that makes it sound to me like Shakespeare. Number 3, the quality of mercy is not strained. So number 3 is the quality of mercy is not strained. I should say I shortened this one, and I'm now going to give you the slightly longer version and see if that helps you or confuses you in the process. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven. Now this one is Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice, but it feels akin to biblical imagery of mercy and grace. It has that kind of poetic imagery that you might find in, say, the book of Psalms. Number 4, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Number 4, again, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Now this one feels very much like Shakespeare, but it is the Bible again. Matthew 6:34. I think partly the reason it sounds like Shakespeare is due to the phrasing, which kind of causes the meaning not to be overtly clear. And when I was in school studying Shakespeare, it seemed like a lot of the meanings were not overtly clear, the stuff he wrote. So it means that today has enough problems for us, so let's not borrow tomorrow's trouble to worry about today. This was a favorite quote of my dad when I was growing up, and I heard it many, many times from him. And I think we did an episode on this one, but I can't remember which episode it was right now off the top of my head. Number 5, it must follow as the day the night, thou canst not then be false to any man. So that's number 5. It must follow as the day the night, thou canst not be false to any man. This one was chosen because it very much feels like, well, it could be the Bible. But of course, if it feels like the Bible, then it's probably going to be Shakespeare, which is Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 3. And let me just add, I have discovered that canst is a very difficult word for me to say, and I hope I never have to try again. Okay, number 6, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Number 6, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Now, depending on how much of the Bible you have read, you might hear this one and think to yourself, oh, that sounds like the kind of short moral wisdom that is found in the book of Proverbs, and it really does. But this isn't the Bible, it's Shakespeare, all's well that ends well, first act. Okay, number 7, put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Number 7, put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Now, I picked this one because it sounds very much like a quote from Shakespeare to me, but it is the Bible, and also the type of quote from Proverbs that I was talking about in the previous quote. Proverbs 23:2. Okay, number 8. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. One more time. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Really, this one, as much as any one in the entire list, sounds like it could go either way. But in this case, it's the Bible. Ecclesiastes 1:2. Okay, coming down to the final 2. Number 9. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. Number 9, again, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. This certainly doesn't feel like something you would or should find in Scripture, and also does feel like something that might be found in one of Shakespeare's plays. So at this point, following the pattern so far, you've guessed it is indeed the Bible. Isaiah 22:13. Last one, number 10, condemn the fault and not the actor of it. Again, number 10, condemn the fault and not the actor of it. Okay, I included this one because it's so similar to something many Christians love to say, which is hate the sin, love the sinner.
Oh, and we did an episode on that quote, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and we are not fond of that hate the sin, love the sinner adage.
No, we are not.
And mostly because the people who say this as a justification for their beliefs and behaviors frequently seem to forget the love part. It's just always followed with a lot of condemnation, I've found. Anyway, this one, condemn the fault and not the actor of it, is not the Bible, but is found in Shakespeare, Measure for Measure, Act 2. And it is not a statement in Shakespeare, but it's phrased as a question. Now, those are the 10. Be sure to let me know how you did in the comments below. Also, if you know a quote that I should have included, let me know about that in the quotes below as well. Maybe we'll do a second version of this later on if people enjoy it. All right, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the content. Most of our episodes that we create are intended to challenge, make you think, or encourage some form of growth. So if something like that happened this week,
Well then, that is on you. Where do you get off learning something when we're just trying to have fun here?
and with that, I will sign off. On your spiritual journey, may you ask questions, seek answers, and boldly go wherever the quest takes you. Thanks for joining us here today and being part of the SkyPilot Faith Quest community. This is a great place to ask questions you wouldn't feel comfortable or safe asking in other places. And remember, the sign of a strong faith, solid religion, or healthy spiritual journey is not certainty, but that you keep asking questions.